today's video is going to be a talk session with Mama Daisy. She's here with us, and also Cam is going to be in the background, you guys. So today we want to talk about something really important. It's going to be the 5 qualities to look for if you want to be in a healthy relationship.
The first thing you should really have when you want a healthy relationship is chemistry. Chemistry is just if you like the person or not. If you have that vibe, that the butterflies in your stomach when they call or when they walk by or when they talk. Just chemistry.
Yes, I agree. Chemistry is important too. Chemistry is super duper important because I feel like if you don't have chemistry, which also goes into like commonalities with the person, I don't really see how you guys are together. Now, you don't have to be just alike, but I feel like some things should be aligned so that the relationship can flow. Because if you're like total opposites, in my opinion, I don't feel like the relationship will mesh well. And that goes all into chemistry, having a good vibe when you're around the person, getting butterflies, wanting to be around them all the time, and things like that.
Chemistry also allows you to just connect with the person well, because who wants to be with a person that they're not attracted to? You want somebody that's nice and appealing to look at. And beauty to you may be different than beauty is for her. What attracts her may not attract you. So chemistry for you is very important with another person.
Yeah, that's a good point. And chemistry is going to be different for each person. So it's not going to be the same. So like she stated, her chemistry with someone, what she finds attractive and what she finds interesting to make that chemistry kind of flow will be different from what I find interesting or what I think leads into the chemistry or what I think meshes well with me and a person. So that's a good point as well. Overall, chemistry is very, 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 very important. It's one of the top tiers of things that's the most important to look for when you want a healthy relationship, because I feel like that chemistry will kind of keep it if things are going downhill or slope or bad in a relationship, or it just might not be a good day. I think the chemistry will bring you guys together, and it'll kind of rekindle what you guys may have forgot in a small argument that you really like about one another, or why the reasons that you're really together.
The next thing you should have when you want a healthy relationship is acceptance. You want to be in a relationship where you can be yourself, totally you, where you're relaxed, where you don't have to pretend. You want somebody to accept you, the real you, the true you, so you can be genuine and you.
That's a good point. Acceptance is really important. Like, for example, I'm a really extra person sometimes, so I couldn't be with the person who is
judgmental.
Yeah, I couldn't be with the person who's judgmental because that just wouldn't mesh well with my personality, because I am extra at times. So I need to be with somebody not who is totally on the same spectrum as me, but somebody who will more accept who I am. They're not trying to change me. They're not, and that's another thing acceptance goes into. You can't go into a relationship trying to change somebody. Like, if you're going into the relationship trying to change them, meaning that you don't accept them for who they are, it's never going to work. You can't change somebody, because who that person was when you met them is who they're going to be when you continue to be with them. So if it's things that are like musts, like you just can't live with, and those are qualities that a person possesses that you find attractive or you feel like you have chemistry with, I don't feel like that's something that you should go into unless you have an open mind and an open heart to be willing to accept that thing about them that you feel may have been a deal breaker in other situations. That all ties into acceptance. All of those things tie into acceptance. But when you're going into a relationship anyway, you have to more so have an open mind and an open heart, because if you don't have an open mind and an open heart, little things are going to aggravate you. Like, you're not going to be, it's 2 people in a relationship. It's not just one person anymore. So you're one person and you have to, you're going in the world by yourself. So really you can do what you want to do. You can do the things you want to do, blah, 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 blah. But when it's 2 people, you have to open up your mind a little bit more, because now you have to think about what 2 people would do. So what you would do and what that person would do, because that way you're in a relationship. And that's, in my opinion, that all goes into acceptance of who a person is, because it kind of all meshes together.
And another thing there are a lot of things out there that say a relationship is 50-50. It's really not. There are going to be times when he gives more and you're going to give more. What you really need in a relationship is 100 and 100. You're giving 100% of yourself to the relationship and he's giving 100% of himself. We need two wholes coming together. Two whole people coming together to make the relationship the best that it can be. Another example is say for instance, if I use myself. I'm a very honest person, so being with a liar is a no deal for me. It's a no way. So and when it comes to that acceptance thing, that would never work for me. So I wouldn't get with a liar and then try to change him to be honest and testing him. That's old.
That's too much.
It's just too much. People want to be with people that they can be themselves with. I can come home and let my hair down and he can come home and relax. You don't want your man being afraid to come home to you. That is the worst thing ever. You don't want your woman running away from you every chance she gets. That is a no. You want to be with someone who totally accepts you for who you are. And I'm talking about the real person. I'm not talking about the person that you date. Because those are two different people sometimes. That's why it's so important to be honest with people. Be you. You only get one life. Live the best, healthiest version of your life you can. The next thing that you need to look for in a healthy relationship is communication. Who wants to be with a person who do not know how to express themselves? And communication is imperative to every relationship. Whether it's a mother-daughter relationship, whether it's a mother-son relationship, whether it's best friends relationship, whether it's spouse relationships. Communication is a deal breaker. You want to be able to be with someone who communicates, someone who gets you. Now, body language is also a way that people communicate what they do and don't want. You want to be able to, sometimes, like in some relationships, you may decide to be with a person who doesn't say a lot, but they use a lot of body language. You have to learn how to read that person's emotions, even when they're not saying a lot. So body language is also a part of communication. But the best communication is me telling you what I want and you telling me what you want.
That's good. My favorite thing to say is I'm not Cleo, because I'm not. I cannot read your mind. So I need you to communicate with me. I need you to tell me what it is that you need, what do you want, things that you kind of like desire, things you want to do in your life. That's all a part of communication, and that's all things that you need to know when you're entering into a relationship with somebody. Because how am I going to know something if you don't tell me? That's kind of like why people get into arguments. Arguments are another form of communication. It's just a more abrasive form of communication, but it's communication. So people get into abrasive arguments, not healthy arguments, because they don't know how to communicate. They're thinking that the other person is supposed to know what they're thinking, but the other person is not a mind reader. So they don't know what you're thinking. They don't know your feelings. They don't know how you're supposed to feel. They know how they're interpreting how you should feel, which is wrong. You don't assume. When you assume, you make a donkey out of yourself, and you don't want to do that. So if you want to know something, you ask. If they're not giving you a clear answer, you ask them clear questions so that you can get the answer that you want, and that is how you communicate. Now, I still have to grow in my communication in all forms of relationships. Friends, parents, all relationships. I still need to grow within communication and how I can better communicate with people. And I don't think sometimes people understand how important communication is in a relationship, because really, if you can't communicate, I don't understand why you two are together, because communication also comes with acceptance and chemistry. So those were the first two, chemistry and acceptance. It leads into communication. Because if you have those two foundational points, those two important points, it'll be easier for you to communicate. Because for one, you're accepting who that person is, so it makes them easy to communicate to you without you getting upset.
And makes them want to communicate with you.
Mm-hmm. And for two, you have a good bond already. Y'all chemistry is fire. The vibes are there. So they're willing to communicate with you. So they want to communicate with you, and then they're willing to communicate with you. And those are the things that are going to just make a foundation for a relationship, a strong foundation for a relationship. Communication is one of those things. It's at the top of the list for me. Every time I think about I might want to be with a person, I need to be able to communicate with them. If I cannot communicate with you, we can't do it. We can't do it. So I need to be able to sit down with you and for you to be able to accept me and understand me so that I will be able to properly communicate with you. And all three of those things tie into each other.
Me, myself, I'm a very direct person. If I don't want it, I won't ask for it. And please don't offer it to me. But I will tell you what I want, I will tell you what I need, and I will tell you what I expect. I go into relationships telling people what is going to be this is what I want, this is the end goal, and you have to accept it or not, because it's just, I'm very, very direct. And I like being honest with people, and I like telling you up front, so there's no
blurred lines.
Not so much blurred lines, that there's no misunderstandings about what is gonna be expected and not expected, because I've already told you what I expect and what I need and what I want.
And that's another reason why communication is important, because before you even enter into a relationship with a person, you should have communicated on both parties what you want, what you're willing to accept and tolerate, and what you won't accept and what you won't tolerate. So that needs to already be set out in stone before you enter into a relationship with somebody. Because if you enter into the relationship with false hope and false expectations, I can almost guarantee you every single time it's not going to work. It ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work, because you're thinking that something's gonna happen that is not gonna happen. And that's almost like you wishing that you can change a person, wishing for things that aren't there, and you can't change anybody. People are who they're going to be. The only person that can change someone is themselves, and they have to work on changing themselves. You cannot change anybody, especially if they're not willing to go. Now, you can help them if they're willing to start that change. You can encourage them. You can be there for them, but you yourself can't make them and change them. That's why oftentimes people be out here in relationships that they don't even want to be in half the time, and that's because they're trying to change people.
Nobody wants to be with a manipulative, sneaky person.
Nope.
That is the worst thing ever. Nobody likes being manipulated, and nobody likes being lied to. So it's imperative, and it takes us right into the next thing, the fourth thing that you need for a healthy relationship, which is trust. You cannot be in a relationship with anybody if you don't trust them. So if you're one of those people that have trust issues, stay by yourself. Don't date anybody until you get the trust issues worked out, because you're kind of going into it with, you're starting it to fail, because you have to be able to trust a person on some level. Now, if you get into relationships and you're a really good communicator, you have that chemistry, you accept them, it's better. It makes the trust better, because you can be yourself. You can totally be yourself, and it helps build on that trust. It's imperative that you trust people that you're trying to be in relationships with. Because without trust, you're going to be running around thinking he's cheating on you, thinking she's cheating on you. You're second guessing them. Somebody calls, who is that? You checking their emails, you're following them, putting trackers on their cars, trackers on their phone.
Making fake pages.
That stuff is unnecessary when you trust somebody.
Unnecessary.
Who has time for that?
Nobody.
Because if you're doing all that, you have too much darn time on your hands.
Period.
You should be out here living your best life.
Best.
So trust the people you're in relationships with.
Trust. That's just that on that. That's just that on that. If you don't have trust, you guys, honestly and truly, trust is top tier. Trust is top tier, and that has to start from the courting phase. So trust has to start from courting. So that ties into communication, acceptance, chemistry. Because if you have those three things, it's easier to trust somebody. It flows better. You don't have to force anything, because then you're communicating, so they can easily communicate with you. So now they trust you because they're trusting that you accept who they are. They're trusting you. They're communicating with you. You guys have that chemistry. So it's just easier. It's just like effortless. It's effortless. And that's how you want a relationship to be, effortless. And that's what trust brings. Trust brings effortlessness within a relationship. Now, I feel like personally, if you don't trust someone, I don't think you should be with them. I don't. Because like my mom said, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting the relationship up for failure. And somebody gonna get hurt in the end. And it probably ain't gonna be the person who out here lying. So if you ain't trusting, you better
a message.
Might dip your foot in that water. Cause it might be too hot. And you might get burnt.
Stay on the beach.
Stay on the beach.
Have your hat on and your sunscreen on. Get you a tan on the beach. Stay out the water.
It's a billion people in the world, y'all, to be in a relationship with somebody who you can't trust. Except communicate with or have chemistry with. It's too many folks in the world for that. Honestly and truly. And it's crazy because I have to continuously learn that. Every day, every minute, and you gotta work on yourself. And like my mama said, if you can't trust nobody anyway, if you have trust issues, like it goes deeper than the person that you're with. If you have trust issues, then you really don't need to be with nobody. It's okay to be alone in a world full of Instagram marriages, in a world full of Instagram relationships, in a world full of YouTube this, in a world full of people wanting to get married for a wedding and not for the marriage. It's okay to be alone. You don't have to be with somebody. You don't. You can be by yourself. Take yourself on a date. Take yourself to the movies. Take yourself to dinner. That's self-care time. That is real self-care time. Do a spa day. If you don't know how to do a spa day, I've done a video on it. I'll link it down below. You're welcome. Go check it out. Do self-care time. That way you can start building yourself back up. You can build trust back up. You can just really work on yourself. And when you're alone, don't stay stagnant. When you're alone, really work on yourself. Search within yourself. Progress with yourself. Do better within yourself. Because when you start doing good and you're doing better and your eyebrows looking right and your makeup looking right and you smelling right and you eating right and you exercising, baby, they're going to be knocking down your door anyway. So then you're going to have your choice of who you want to pick. And that's for men and women. And that ain't a bad thing. You're just going to have your choice. But when you get that choice, you take it slow. And you see if you have chemistry. You see if you can communicate with this person. You see if you can accept this person. And then you see if you can grow to trust this person through the courting phase, through that dating phase. You see all of these things so that if it goes to the point where you guys potentially want to enter into some type of relationship together, then you guys already have that foundation. If you already instill, okay, I can trust you. And if I can't trust you, that's a deal breaker and this is not going to work. So that way it's known. Off bat, if I can't trust you, if you do something to make it where my trust is wavy or weary, we done. We done, period. We done. Bye. Get out.
And don't get it twisted. These tips and qualities that we're giving you are not gender specific.
Nope.
They're not for man-woman relationship. They're for all relationships because we have several different types of relationships that we're operating in at the same time. You have mother-daughter, you have mother-son, you have husband-wife, you have friendships with women, friendships with men, all relationships. Relationships are the main foundations of everyone's life. And you want to be in healthy relationships. You don't want a person bringing a whole bunch of drama to your life. If you like drama, fine, boo-boo. That works for you. Do you. But for me personally, I don't like drama. I don't like people to come into my life and try to wreak havoc and turmoil. And no, life is just too short because I'm too busy trying to be the best version of myself that I can be. And that includes my relationships with my family, relationships with my friends. I'm just trying to be the best version of myself that I can be. So it's imperative that I be in healthy relationships at all times. Because I don't have time for toxic relationships. Toxic relationships make you feel bad. They zap all your energy, draw you down. You walk in a room and somebody toxic comes in the room. You instantly feel it if you're a very positive person. Instantly feel it. Because you'll leave that room all drained and you're like, oh, I feel tired all of a sudden. I just need to sit down. I need to get some fresh air. You can't breathe. Like all kinds of things. Toxic relationships impact your body in weird ways. Weird ways. So you want to be in the best positive relationships you could be. Remember, you got to have that chemistry. You got to be able to accept that person. You have to be able to communicate with that person and trust that person. And for the fifth thing, commitment. Commitment is a deal breaker. You can't be the best friend to someone if you're, whatever they're telling you in secret, you're running and telling everybody else. You can't be betraying your spouse or your partner with things that they're sharing with you in private. You're telling everyone else. Commitment to that person is important. And it's not, commitment is just not for you. It's for the security of the relationship. Commitment is important. It lets that person know that they can trust you. Because with men, that's a big thing. They have to feel secure with you. And most of the times, they have to feel secure with you before the commitment and before the trust even comes. They have to be able to trust you. Because they want to be with women that they can be themselves with. So commitment is a big thing. Commitment is, very, very important.
Yeah. And commitment strings more than just it goes farther than just saying, oh, I'm not going to tell this what somebody told me. Commitment is defined also by what you feel like commitment is. So commitment could be not cheating. That could be a form of commitment. It's defined by what you think commitment is, what you and this person have both communicated about, what you both think, feel that commitment is. So commitment is, yes, what my mom said, don't go outside of your relationship talking and telling stuff and, oh girl, guess what he told me last night and all of that. That's too much, honey. Like, that's too much. Like, first of all, you don't need everybody in your relationship anyway. Because they gonna mess it up. They gonna mess it up. Because you forgive. But other people don't.
And sometimes you have relationships that you're good with, that you flow from one relationship to another, where you may, say for instance, you may have friends. They all love you, but they hate each other. Every time that person comes around, they're rolling their eyes, they're sucking their teeth, they're smart mouthing that person, they're bad mouthing that person. Those are some friends that you may not need to intermingle together. You be friends with them. You have coffee with them or drinks with them, and lunch with them, dinner with them on your own. Instead of trying to mingle your friends and family together sometimes people just don't get on. They just don't mesh well together. And just because you accept a person doesn't mean everybody will.
Nope. Because you could be broader. You could have more acceptance, more trust in that person. Y'all could have built a bond than anybody else. So if you have people that don't get along, that's another thing as far as commitment to a particular relationship, a friendship, a romantic relationship, a paternal relationship, anything like that. Like you gotta work with it. Now, I see a lot of people on TV and these reality shows mixing and mingling friends and trying to fix stuff that they shouldn't have no business fixing. Don't try to fix nothing. If them people want to talk to each other, they will talk, okay, honey? They will talk. Don't be trying to work your 5 key skills that we giving you to try to help somebody else. You work on the best you can be and be the best version of you. And that light is going to shine brighter than anything that you can ever say to somebody. Your actions are going to shine brighter. That light within you is going to shine brighter. Therefore, you won't even have to tell them, okay, chill out. They already gonna know. Oh, when we go around Deanna, we can't be with this mess. They gonna know it within themselves because of the person that you are. So that's why it's good to constantly work on yourself and be the best version of who you are. And that's just not in friendships. That's in romantic relationships, parental relationships, anything like that. That's relationships. When you have your stuff together and you working on yourself and you telling people what you're going to accept, what you're not going to accept, and things of that nature, you're communicating with a person, they know, oh, I can't come with the BS with her. I can't come to her like this. Or I can't come to this relationship like this because I know that she's not going to accept that from me. So I need to get myself together before I even approach her with this situation because I know that Deanna's not going to accept it. But all of that comes in trust, chemistry, acceptance, all of that, y'all. It comes together. All of these keys, they kind of intertwine and flow within each other. So if you don't have one, it's kind of like your 5 chords there, they kind of starting to dwindle down and untwine. It just ain't gonna work. You need to have these things. However you define each section are the things that you need to have. Now, I ain't saying a relationship can't work if you don't got these things. I'm just saying the percentage go down. That's it. That's it. Now, if you want to take your chances and you want to roll the dice and you want to keep going into this toxicity, these toxic relationships and poisoning your spirit and your mind and your body and your soul and yourself, go ahead. I'm just saying from personal experience, and I'm sure she's speaking from personal experience as well, these are 5 key points that should be top of the list. Top of the list. Period. I'm done.
That just brings me to one more thing before we end this out. When it comes to parental relationships, parents, I know you have all the power, but listen to your children. They are people with their own feelings. I grew up with a parent that said, you do this because I told you so. That's good sometimes, but there are other times when your children have emotions. They're going through things at school. They're going through things in college. They're going through things at the youth centers that they may go to, that they need to know that they can trust you with enough to talk to you. So commitment is super imperative. You can't betray children's trust, because once you lose your child's trust, it's very hard to get it back. You want to have that type of relationship with your child. Now, I'm not saying be your child's best friend, because you still have to parent them. What I'm saying is have a relationship where your child feels open enough to talk to you and come to you when they're having a problem, because there's so many kids in this world right now that are killing themselves because they feel like they're totally alone.
Or they're not being heard.
Or respected. Respect is a part of commitment. So just think about that, parents. You got to be able to hear your kids out and listen to them, because they're their own person with their own feelings.
Yep.
And you may not know what they're feeling unless they tell you. Like, you have to be able to listen to your kids. We want them to grow into healthy adults.
And when they tell you, you have to be receptive, aka acceptance. You don't have to like it, but you gotta listen. Now, they might not be adults already. They might not be out here doing everything for themselves, but you have to be willing to listen and therefore accept. Don't listen to respond. Listen to hear. Listen to comprehend. Think about it. And then you give a response to what they're saying. That way, you're not only listening to them, building a great bond, building chemistry, building commitment, building communication and acceptance. You're also giving them great ways to go into the world so that they're guided in the correct direction. Because as a parent, you're here to guide. You ain't here to just always shoot directions at your kids.
Dictatorship.
Yeah, you're not here for a dictatorship. That's not what that is. As parents, you're here to guide your children in the way that they should go. So when they leave, and if they go astray, they'll always come back. Because you've instilled that knowledge into them. So now they know, okay, well, this is what I should do. Or I can go talk to my mom about this. I can talk to my dad about this. And that way, they know that you're going to accept them no matter what. Because love is a crazy thing. When people feel like they're not loved and they can't trust you, you're not accepting them, you're not a good communicator, you just going to shoot them down every time they tell you something. Y'all don't got no good bond, aka chemistry. It just ain't working. The vibe ain't right. They ain't going to want to tell you nothing. So you going in and trying to talk to your kids about this and this and this and yada, 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 yada. They go, it's going to go through this ear and out this ear, and they going to go do whatever they want to do the next day. They're not even want to understand and talk to you and listen. They're not, because they just feel like you don't even care anyway. You here to just control me, and I can't wait till I turn 18 so I can get out. And that's not the way to grow up. That's not the way to live. That's not the way you want your child to grow up. And that's not the way that you want that particular relationship to go. And that goes into every other relationship, because every relationship can end that way. That happens a lot of time with romantic relationship with men and women, women and women, men and men. Sometimes people put a block up. And then when you start talking to them, they can't hear you. Because they feel like one of these points are lacking. They either feel like you ain't communicating right, you're not accepting them, y'all don't have good chemistry. Something's gone. Something is off. You don't trust them, they don't trust you. And then they automatically put a block up. And they can't hear you no more. They don't want to listen no more. They don't want to talk. They're shutting down. And that's not where you want to end up in any relationship, boo.
We all know what Charlie Brown was. Wah, 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 wah. They shut you out. Men are masters at this. If you don't accept them, if you hurt them, they shut down completely. They stop. Once they shut down, they're not listening to anything else you say.
Nope.
They shut down.
Nope.
And in order for a relationship to grow, and relationships should always be growing.
Yes.
Relationships should never be stagnant.
Nope.
Constantly growing, experiencing new things, growing bigger and better at all times. If your relationship is stagnant, it may be time to get out of that relationship.
You gotta go. Because if y'all not growing,
you should be going.
Period. Period. If you're not growing, you should be going. Because, baby, that's not healthy. Honestly and truly, all jokes aside, that's not healthy. If you're not progressing with the person, why are you with them? Because the point of being in any relationship is that each person is encouraging and motivating and pushing in the most positive way possible each of the parties in that relationship to rise, to keep going up and up and up and up and up. And if you ain't going up and up and up and up and up, and y'all ain't progressively working towards something, y'all don't got nothing going on, y'all not trying to get better, y'all not trying to work on something together, separate, then y'all just need to stop.
Healthy relationships are the key to everything. Good businesses. I know there are men and women out there that want to be power couples. You have to have these keys to be the best powerful couple. It's people in families that want to go into business together. It's imperative that you have these keys. And we hope that these 5 qualities that we gave you, which was the chemistry, acceptance, communication, trust, and commitment, will help you be the best you that you can be.
Yes, definitely. And with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. And thank you, Mama Daisy, for coming in and talking with us today. I'm so excited. If you guys made it to the end, comment down below some 5 keys that you think would best help a relationship flourish, any relationship that you may be in. Or you can comment on any of the 5 things that we've said here today. I have them all listed throughout the video and in the description box. But most importantly, you guys, don't forget to give someone your smile today. As always, we're going to give you our smiles through the screen here, and you continuously pass those smiles along. Smiles are important. It can save a life. Keep passing it along. You never know what a smile can do. It can brighten someone's day. Your spirit is always going to shine through you when you're being the best version of you. So pass a smile along. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Bye. And I'll see you next time. Bye.